the highest rated hip hop album of all time now. Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly. If you watch the show, you know I'm not the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan, but I actually was pleasantly surprised when I listened to this whole album a few times. I listened to it about 3 times, and so I want to break it down and talk about some of these tracks. But first off, what are y'all thoughts on this album?
Yeah, when it first came out, I was like, "Oh man!" I was impressed. I thought it was a great follow up to
Good Kid, Mad City.
Good Kid,
Good
Mad
Kid,
City.
Mad City. Yeah, I don't know why they come in my head. I thought it was real cool album. Um, but I haven't listened to it probably since that year.
We're calling it like instant classic. That
Yeah,
automatically turns me off from the album. I don't want to hear that. Like, there's no way. I don't like albums. I don't like anything automatically that gets greatness right off
you a
the
hater
rip.
gene. Your hater gene is
Yeah.
strong, man. You saw it
Yeah,
kicks in.
no.
People, oh, you like that? Oh,
Yeah.
nah, I don't like that shit. I don't like
No,
that.
like how something a great automatically. I hate that type of stuff. Like, let it sit. I mean, nowadays with streaming, you can listen to an album like a bunch of times in a row. It's easy, just put on repeat constantly. But don't tell me after one day is a classic. I don't want to hear it. So, nah, I'm good.
I
I'm a
mean,
hater.
I agree with that. I mean, you shouldn't be saying it's classic right away. I mean, the thing is, if you listen to an album and it has no skips, that's very high. That's not what most albums are like. So if you
Yeah.
listen to the album the first day, of course you're gonna be excited. And this happens for a lot of albums where the first day you'll love everything you're hearing, and over
Exactly.
time you'll cool on some of the songs.
Yeah.
I like I said at this time I was definitely checking for Kendrick Lamar. I was a fan at this time. I would say it was this album that turned me off. And you're right. I mean, everyone was calling it instant classic, and that's why I wanted to review it because I feel like we can start. Here. I mean, this is 2015 that it came out now. So now we've had a lot of time to sit back and then like think about this album. One, I think B, you said the most important thing. I think this album, a lot of people talk about it like it's the greatest thing of all time, but I don't know that many people who just listen to the album. I know a lot of people who are Kendrick fans, but I don't know a lot that are just like playing the album out throughout. Like I don't really know. So I went back and listened to it, and my wife was saying she was a really big fan of this album. So I even listened to it with her and was asking a lot of questions like, what did you like about this or that song? I played it in my car one time. I played it in my headphones twice. So I played it, like I really listened, trying to, not be biased toward this album. And so, it starts off with the Wesley's theory. Well, first off, I mean, it starts off with the Wesley's theory, and it's got Thundercat and it's all funky and stuff like that, which is cool. The first time I listened to it in the car, I didn't like it, but when I listened to it in my headphones, I thought the production was really cool. But Kendrick is the worst part of the song. Like all the other stuff was better than him. I didn't think, and that's one of my biggest problems with this album. I thought he was not very entertaining in the album to me. That's just how I felt. Like he didn't seem impressive in a rapping way or lyrically. He doesn't say any bars that made me like go, crazy about it. The next song he has, is free, and that's and it's like I don't know. My wife thought it was funny. She thought the song was funny. I thought it was just annoying. So, song's
I'm
not
not a
funny.
fan of that one. That's one of the ones I would skip. I mean, I think a lot of these songs, like I said, man, when I first heard this album, I liked them much more than I did now. So that interlude that's what it is. I mean, that's an interlude. King Kunta is good. I think that holds up much more than some of the other songs on here. How you feel about Institutionalized?
I thought it was a basic beat, and Kendrick makes annoying voices on it.
Yeah, I'm not. I hate when he does the voices. But I thought it was all right. I mean, like I said, on a re-listen, man, it's very interesting because like I'll think like, oh, okay, I remember how I felt when I first heard it, and I remember why I haven't listened to it since. Like if it don't jump, most of my favorite songs or most of the songs I think are so great are I can't keep them off my rotation. Like even when they come on, I'm like I should skip this because I've been wearing this song out, and I still can't. I still got to play this again.
Right.
So I don't feel like that about most of this album. I do still like These Walls a lot.
So These Walls, I like. That was one of my favorite songs on the album.
And there's a couple other ones that I like for the what he's saying, but do I want to hear them? Probably not. Re-listening to this did not make me want to put any of these songs back in my rotation or anything like that.
Yeah. So I wrote notes to some of these songs. Like I like These Walls. That was one of my favorite songs. Then You starts out and he starts with that screaming. And he's like, is it room, screaming. I thought that was annoying. And then he's like, he's like crying. Yeah, like he's emotionally rapping. Like it's like he's drunk crying or something like that. I don't really know, but it's like an acting scene. Like that's what I felt about a lot of this album. It's like it's like a acted part, like a role or something like that he's playing instead of him just rapping. I feel like a lot of people, what people think is, or say is so great about it. And this is true of his newest album too. That just won awards and stuff. It's like it's like a play or something like that. Like it's written as some kind of like theatrical thing instead of me feeling uh like the rapping is good or the words are elicit some emotion in me. I just feel like he's like playing the part, like I don't know, like an actor. It just feels very weird to me to hear in a rap song.
I don't know how much that takes away from it. As far as because when you get to like a certain level of that type of stuff, I guess you can always say it's for it's art, it's its own thing. It's not supposed to be like that. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like is this meant to be put put on when I'm in my car? I don't know. It don't have car vibe play for me. Bryson, what you think, man? You putting this on in your whip?
No, never. No Kendrick ever in the whip, actually. But I remember when this album came out, 2015, right? Moving into a new house, we were painting, and my homie was putting on this album. He's like, "Oh, new Kendrick, love it." And I just remember hating it. Like, man, why are you playing this throughout the whole house? No one wants to hear this. Just not good music, man. To me personally, I don't want to hear it.
So that's my thing. And so it's not until All Right to me is the first song where I actually nodded my head to something. Like you can say it's just art. Like I get that. Like when you say it's art, it's like deeper meaning, and I do. Because the first thing people say, "Oh, you don't get the album" or something like that. I get it. He explains it all at the end with the poem to Tupac and all this other stuff. Like I get the whole thing. I understand the concept. That the industry uses black male talents or just people's talents, pimps them out. And I get the whole caterpillar butterfly thing. I get all that stuff, right?
Yeah, it ain't that complex, man.
It's not that complex, exactly. So I get all that. My issue is just I didn't nod my head to anything until All Right, and I think that is
King Kunta and These Walls. I think I had nod. I like that funkiness on King Kunta, man.
I like the funkiness on Wesley's Theory. More so.
Okay.
I think it's just a good song. It just didn't make me want to dance. It didn't make me want to dance.
Oh, well, make me want to dance. I mean,
Not
the
the
same
same.
Gibbs out.
So, wait, what you say?
I like King Kunta.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it was a good song. Like, I have no.
All right is a great song. All right can still be played. I guess I could put that on. But there's a bunch of songs on here that I'm cool with them.
I thought All Right was upbeat, and then For Sale comes on, and it's like low energy. To me, it was weird. Then Mama comes on, and he can't stay on beat. I think he really struggles to rap on beat. I think the production is not that great on all his album. I'm serious, man. I feel like Kendrick writes a verse, he wrote the verses, and then like the production came afterwards or something. Like I don't think he wrote some of the beats. I feel like he just wrote whatever he wanted to write, and then just start rapping them on the beat with no like care about
every Rhapsody song I've ever heard.
Oh, I want to talk about that because Rhapsody is the only feature you got on the thing. And it was like, let me just get the rapper who can't stay on beat worse than me. Like, it was the only, like, it was terrible. I was like, it's like,
y'all love Rhapsody. I don't get it. I hate to be hating, man. But I mean, I don't hate to be hating. I mean, that's kind of what I do. But I don't understand like the Rhapsody love. I don't.
No, see, you take it. Rhapsody. Good albums are Lollia's Wisdom and Eve. Those came out after this, first off. And she got better. I don't listen to none of Rhapsody's old stuff unless it had a feature or something like that or somebody I like. But I don't listen to Rhapsody old stuff. She couldn't stay on beat. She got better.
Barely stays on beat now. I mean, okay,
she got better.
She's better. She is better.
She is better. You're right about that. She is better. You're right. Okay. But I don't get why people act like she's some kind of great MC. I don't see.
Well, even on that song, Completia, the lyrics are good. I just don't like her flow. She's got a terrible flow.
It's never good.
That's not, you keep doing this. You hold rappers to like their past instead of looking at their present. Because
I don't try to do that. So if I do that,
you like Eve? Do you think she's offbeat on Eve?
She's more on beat, but
so then you're good.
That's on songs.
Okay, maybe she's not. I'm not saying she's Freddie Gibbs on the mic or Black Thought on the mic. I'm not saying she's got the sickest flow. She's not Big Pun or something. I'm just saying that she can rap on the beat now.
She can rap on beat.
That's all I'm saying.
But that's such a low bar to me. Like, okay, great.
Okay, so all the worse when Kendrick Lamar is supposedly one of the greatest rappers of all time, can't stay on beat on the freaking song. That's all the worst. Rhapsody. I mean, cool, he's better than Rhapsody, but I mean, what does that mean? Like, I don't understand.
Cool, man. Like I said, I don't. You know, I'm not gonna sit up here and cape for the album. I think I like it a little bit more than you.
But this is the thing. So this is where it gets good. So After Mama was where I was surprised, right? I forgot how good the rest of this album was. Good Politics, I like a lot. You know, I think, I like that song. It's probably my favorite song on re-listen. I like that song a lot. How Much Dollar Cost is a great song with a great story. Complexion is a cool song. You know, again, we just talked about how they can't stay on beat, so it's not that great. But Black and the Berry is great. You Ain't Gotta Lie. I like the production on that one. I like the rapping on that one. I like that song. That's one of the songs where I actually felt like I get to see some of Kendrick's personality. You know, when he breaking up the fight and talking about the N-word explanation, all that stuff. I feel like he doesn't give a lot of his opinions or personality in some of these songs. I feel like he says these vague messages that are kind of like, they're positive, like go to therapy, but doesn't say anything about like his personality really. Like, it just says, I think therapy's a good thing. That's cool, which is great, but not like doesn't say anything about his person. I don't feel like I know you because you go to therapy, like, you know what I mean? But I was like the first song on here. I felt like, I got some of his personality. I like that song a lot. Mortal Man is a cool song, and then of course it ends with the whole Tupac thing. So I like the last few songs. I came across like first I went in thinking I'm gonna hate this album. Listened to it multiple times. Like I said, I listened to it 3 times. So I listened to it the first time. Was not feeling a ton. By the time I got to the second half, I was liking it more. And I was like, well, let me go listen to it again. Listen to that first half to make sure I'm not, I wasn't crazy on the first half. Then I listened to it a third time, and I don't feel like I was crazy on the first half. It's just boring. And then the second half is great. I thought the second half was great. So my thing is, I'm not, I'm actually hating on it less than I thought I would be. Okay. I just.
So what you give it? You rating it out of 10. I like a 10-point scale.
Okay, if I was rating it out of 10, I would say it's 8. Or maybe
That's really good.
7,
Yeah,
7
I was about
maybe.
to say 8 is very high. So
Yeah,
then you like the album
8
a
is
lot
really
because
good.
when
Yeah.
I look at the
maybe 7.
songs, there's about 4 or 5 songs that I probably don't want to listen to at all. And then a bunch of these that I don't want to listen to like in my rotation, like they won't stick with me. Listening to them again did not make me want to put them in my mix. Um, so I don't know how high I can give that. I don't know. I mean, I like a lot of the things that he's doing, and I like the artistic direction much more than like a what's that mid steppers. But
Yeah.
this one, I don't see how it's warranted to be rated as some kind of greatest of all time album. But if you're gonna talk about from the I don't know 2010s on, um, this is there's not many albums that are addressing the topics that it's addressing.
I see that I disagree with 100%.
You think there's a ton of albums that are addressing the topic?
Addressing black. I mean, addressing the black condition, or addressing like. I mean, there's a ton of albums talking about like. I mean, what do you
Okay,
mean?
so well, I mean,
You got Blueface music all throughout the 2010s
okay.
that talk about this type of stuff. You got people like we just talked about Eve. Or, I mean, she talks specifically about women, black women and stuff. But that's another perspective of it. You got the Sky Zoo album and Celebration of Us. You got so many.
Hold on. So I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is it's not the that's not standard, and especially not for a big time mainstream artist. The only one I would compare to that is the Lupe. Um, I don't know if anybody else has that type of pull in the industry that Kendrick has.
I mean, maybe not as a full concept album, but I mean, I think J. Cole talks about this type of subject matter a lot. Maybe not in an artistic concept album way.
I think that's a difference. I think that's
that is
supposed to focus on it a little bit more. But I mean, again, I don't think that makes me want to listen to the music more. I just think I end up giving them points for it. So instead of like what I would say, as far as me wanting to listen to this album is like a 5. But as far as me, I have more respect for it, I guess. So I guess it pushes it to like a 6 or a 7. But
yeah, that's how I
I
feel.
only want to hear like 2 of these songs. What I really put in my thing where I will listen to them again, like many times. Not that many.
Yeah, to me, it's just Blackberry, Hood Politics, All Right, which is already played out. So not really. I mean, but those are the main ones. And so I agree with you. Those are the only ones that I feel good out of like out of context of the album.
Right.
And I don't really want to listen to the album a lot because the album is not entertaining to me. It's more. I mean, like you said, it's an artistic way. Like it's cool, and I give it points for that.
Well, that works.
I don't think that
for certain that works for certain segments, man. I mean, I do think that. I mean, look, man, this dude won a ton of awards for that, right? Didn't he win a Pulitzer for that?
Well, that was for that. See, that was for the other album.
Okay,
this
it's for Dan.
Yeah.
No. See, if it's for Dan, then that don't make no sense.
But this is my problem. This is my problem with Kendrick. This is my thing. This is what I'm saying. Even he just won the Grammy for this album or whatever. His stuff is rated because of the messaging, I guess, or the concepts, the artisticness of it. But it's not about the music. Like the music, like I said, not much of this album made me want to nod my head. Not much of this album, not much of the bars of the album, not with barely anything, made me actually say, "Oh, that was clever turn of phrase." The whole thing
that's not really Kendrick's thing.
It's all based on this macro, idea of the album that's the greatness. But an album is just a collection of songs, and if the songs individually aren't great, your album can't be that great. I don't really get it.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about Run DMC here in a minute, and it has a lot of the different it's an interesting comparison because this doesn't have some of the basics down, but it has the I guess goals or upper level things you could try to reach for. It's doing those, but it doesn't have some of the basics that I would say for a hip hop album. Bryson, I don't know what you think, man. I mean, are you bumping any of these songs? Like, would you bump any of these songs?
I think Bryson already said though. Yeah, you said no. Kendrick
I
in
don't
the
ever need to. I've only Kendrick I ever go back to listen to is OD and what's the other one?
Section
OD and Section 80.
Section 80. Yep,
Yeah,
that's
those
it.
are. And I love
Never going
those.
back to another Kendrick song ever again. Besides those.
I mean, I feel pretty similar, man. I don't really listen to too much from Kendrick on a regular basis, man.
Maybe once a year I might listen to Damn. Just because I got more radio hits and I want to sing
I had
along
a
and
song.
shit.
I had a Element came on in my random mix on YouTube or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, okay, I remember. I really like this song, but I never really understood some of the damn praise either. I think there's a lot of songs in there that's popular on the radio that I think I would never listen to that song. I could avoid the song. I never would hear it again.
I agree.
Like
I don't.
People love love. I would never hear that. I never want to play that in my life. Like I think that's a terrible song. But so I mean, we just not gonna link. You know, we just not gonna.
So this was really interesting. So this is why, like, so I was asking my wife why she liked the album and stuff like that, and so because she was like, I like the jazziness and stuff like that, but then she hates the Sky Zoo album that I love. We've been friends in that the Sky Zoo album, and then I did want to talk about. So I just found it very odd. I didn't really. People love this album, but I don't know that many people listen to Thundercat like that. Like I have a friend who's a bassist, and he loves Thundercat, and he's the one who put me onto him. And he's all into music, and he saw like Thundercat. Yeah, but other than I don't know hip hop heads that are listening to Thundercat, like for people to be so in love with this musical side of this, but then not listen to the people that made the music. I love Bilal is a star on this album. I think Bilal is a star on this album.
Yeah,
I
think a lot of people are not exposed to some of these concepts or some of these the things that he's doing on this album outside of this album. So when you hear this as a real big breath of fresh air, I thought it was even at the time when I first heard it. I was like, okay, this is not what everybody's doing out here. And he's a big time artist to do this, coming off a Good Kid, Mad City, which is very different. So I think that's what it is for a lot of people too. Man, I think that they're not. We listen to a lot of different hip hop, so we listen to. I'm listening to a wide range of people. So these concepts, the points that you're trying to make are not foreign to me, nor do I think other people are doing them and doing them better. So I don't know if everybody's getting it. I don't know if everybody's the same way with their rapping though.
Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, I mean, he had the conversation with Pac at the end, right? So, and I thought it was very interesting. He's kind of like interviewing him almost, or asking him questions and everything. But it also put me in like the juxtaposition that's really made me, kind of see why like some of my issues with Kendrick so much more. I said this before, but Pac has so much more personality than Kendrick. Kendrick says he's like, or people compare Kendrick to Pac or say he's like the next Pac or whatever. Or just say that he's from that tree, or he's the next hip hop revolutionary.
Oh no.
But and that's what I'm saying. But Pac like spoke his mind like in a clear, blatant way, even if it might offend you or something like that. You could see his personality whether it was through interviews or through music. And I don't feel that with Kendrick. I really, like I said, other than which is fitting. I mean, it's a song about him and loving himself or whatever. Other than that song, his personality didn't come out.
So you listen to Mr. Morale, I feel like his personality is that he's just all stressed out and upset all the time. I don't know. I mean,
is that his personality?
I mean, how else you make them songs? I don't know. I assume that you're making them for a reason. What you think, Bryson?
I don't know. From what I gathered from Mr. Morale was, I thought he was writing it from the perspective of things that's going on in the world. So I feel, I don't know if he's stressed out or if the world is stressed out. Because if he's writing from the perspective of the world, then yes, the world is stressed out. That's how I took it. So, but him himself, I don't think anybody knows anything about Kendrick. He's not in the public eye. He doesn't share anything personal with anybody.
Well,
Besides Santi is a man now.
Yeah, I thought one of the interesting things he said on the Grammys tonight was that he was like his dream was just to be the best underground artist, and then he said something about like, but we were able to make our first imperfect album or something like that. I don't know. It was weird. He said this about accepted his award, in which one I never got that vibe that he wanted to be an underground artist because he makes music that's very I don't know. I don't not that to me. And then
he made songs with his Good Kid, Mad City got like all kinds of pop crossover songs.
Yeah, like swimming pools and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought it was just odd. I thought it was interesting that he said it. I thought it was a little odd, and then also it was like first imperfect album. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's the type of stuff that people believe of his albums. That they're all perfect.
He's a weirdo like the rest of the artists, man. So artists be on some weird stuff. I'm not really mad at like I'm not gonna get mad at that. I'm not gonna try to read too much into it. All I'm gonna do is, am I gonna bump your album?
No, I'm not. It's not about him. I'm saying about the people who believe that. Like he can believe that all his albums are perfect. That's great.
They got a lot of followers out here, man. They got a lot of followers out here. They'll ride for anything that they told to ride for. If they like that stuff,
I'm just mad he won a Pulitzer. That's it. That's my hate for today. I'm mad Kendrick won a Pulitzer Prize.
No, come on, man. Yeah, for damn.
Yeah. The whole time they were talking, I was just going through every year and saw who won. And how is Kendrick the only person from the culture that wins an album? Like,
exactly. For not great album, for not an all-time classic, for not the one with the best writing or bars that are crazy or anything like that. But that's the one that
most of them are like symphony pieces. Like most of the winners are symphony pieces.
Exactly.
Are opera pieces. And then we just got this one random rap album. Like, man. Michael Jackson didn't make Thriller? That wasn't a thing? Or what? Like, come on, man. What goddamn it is.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me because even like when I see reviews and stuff like that of this album, it's all about like again the themes and the message of the album, but that they feel is so great, and then like or even they'll talk about the production and stuff like that. But again, his rapping is not like that's not what's stellar about the album.
And those themes and stuff are not exclusive to his album.
Exactly. Like I'm a huge Lupe fan, and a lot of the people on like the Lupe subreddit will say they're Kendrick fans too. And so I think there's a lot of crossover in these groups, but I don't really feel the same about these artists. I mean, I'm maybe one of the few. I don't feel the same about these artists, and it's not that. And I don't love Lupe's albums just because they're complex and they have some theme. I like the album. I like the songs. Like I can play the songs in a shuffle, and who cares about the theme of the album? I like the song. And that's just not, that's what I have my issue with Kendrick. I don't like the song. If I don't like your beat, or if your beat doesn't make me want to nod my head, and your rhymes don't make me, want to like say, oh wow, that was clever what you said, and you're not on the beat, your flow's not on the beat, then like what is good? Like what part of it is like should I be praising it for? And not to say that that's all of the songs, because he definitely has songs where he's rapping well, but there's no bars, there's no punchlines, there's no big metaphors or stuff like that outside of the big meta ones of the album. He has annoying voices. I don't like his voice, and so I mean, pretty much, I don't really know.
I mean, like I said, I don't get the reason why it's lauded to that extent, but I mean, I don't get a lot of things about what's popular and what's getting awards. We watched some of the Grammys tonight. I don't get why people get these awards. I don't get the appeal of a bunch of artists.